So we're going in turn one. I dive on the bottom line, he's up top, and we're both side by side. I kind of have a nose on him for a second. He kind of comes back, and his rear end kind of snapped out. And I'm on the inside, and I'm hugging it. I'm close to this tractor tire, and he kind of snapped out a little bit, and it kind of drove down and hit me, and I bumped the tractor tire. Tractor tire pushed me into him, and we touched wheels, and at that point he just shot straight into the wall. I mean, it was really unfortunate. I really wasn't intentional, and I just think it was just hard racing, and it was just a really unfortunate mishap. And I ended up getting the better end of the stick.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of created beef outside of it, but you know, everybody's out there racing hard and racing. I don't think there's no ill intent, you know, between drivers. And you know, I've always raced people how they want to race me, and you know, some things, accidents happens, and sometimes you're pushed into the limits, and so bound and determined things are going to happen, especially when you throw them into a ring like Antigo. Contact's going to happen; it's inevitable, and
it was the polar opposites, 2021, where Keegan Kincaid swept the weekend, but now to this, the lowest heartbreak for him. It got taken out in round one, so that's not a great start to the season. And then today, engine trouble for Keegan Kincaid. So definitely one of the fan favorites, was voted the fan favorite last year for a reason. So that was a heartbreak for many fans. Keegan Kincaid also sounds like he's going through a tough time off the track, so not a great weekend for him, but a place that he will perform, mark my words. It's gotta be the home track, the Big House. Well, Crandon, going back into it for the first time this year, of course we're making 2 stops, but if anyone knows anything about Crandon, and everyone does, this is a track that transcends the sport. Any motorsports fan, and even anyone who has vague familiarity with motorsports knows of Crandon. To us, it's the biggest, the baddest, it's untamed, and compared to Antigo where we were, it's where we're really gonna go, pedal to the metal, have it wide open, and the racing and the drama that it brings is certainly falling in line.
I race everybody with respect, I think. I always give people room, I try to pass them clean. Obviously that's not reciprocated a lot of the times with some of the guys, but I try to be clean because it's just, you know, it's not necessary most of the time. It ends up costing us a bunch of money, tearing up parts, and you can get around somebody cleanly if you're faster. And so, whoops. So I try to take that, you know, I try to race everybody with respect, and I hope they give it in return to me. But I think no matter what, the fastest truck on track, they're the ones that are gonna win. You know, no matter what, if you've got a quick truck, you'll find your way to the front. Just let things come to you and be patient.
The problem is there's contact, and there's good contact. Like, people trying to make moves, you're gonna get into doors, you're gonna get into fenders. And then like Antigo, Doug did a slide job on me, didn't clear it, hit my front hood, shoved me, made that spot back up. I'm like, that's racing. Like, he saw an opening, took it, got into me, took my line. That's fine, but then you have guys that just like get into each other for no reason, like on a straightaway.
So if a racer's gonna race you like shit, we should be able to race them like shit back, you know, like do as you want, you know. I've always been taught, you know, like you do something to somebody, expect it back, you know. As a kid, I think we're all taught that, you know, if you're gonna hit somebody, somebody's gonna hit you back, you know. So I'm a fan of, you know, letting the drivers police it themselves. Somebody's gonna race you like shit, expect it back, and the series staying out of it.
But if you're the guy out there taking everybody out, why shouldn't he get his? Let the other guy take him back out because he's putting it on himself. I know that's maybe not the safest thing, but we're all adults out there. We all know what's going on. Like, leave it in the driver's hands. Let everybody build some respect for themselves.
Welcome back to Crandon International Off-road Raceway. I'm Brent Smith alongside Shane Stensny, and we are getting ready for the Pro 2-wheel drives, the big boys of this sport. We've been waiting all day long, Shane, for this class. Pro 2, Pro 4, it's up next. There's no more time waiting.
Isn't that Crandon though? Crandon with our rain? Yeah, good old Crandon. I don't know, the track it looks pretty damn perfect from here. If it stays like this, if we don't have any rain, I think we'll have a great race. The speed of the Pro 2 is going to be really fast if the rain doesn't come, but overall, if that rain comes, it's a complete shit show. It's for full survival, and it's insane the amount of roofs these Pro 2 trucks put up in general. Then you throw mud on the track, and it's just, you could blow through 40 tear-offs in a lap. So
That unfortunately had the rev limiter set too high. We didn't know about it. You know, we have somebody do all our tuning with ECU and everything. So yeah, we got DQ'd, and we're starting dead last now. Game time.
Well, listen to the horsepower. They take off. They're coming towards Forest County, Potawatomi, turn number 1. Look at this. Who's going to get to the turn first? Looks like your hometown boy.
It's going to be Kincaid and Winner through turn number 1, and it'll be Keegan Kincaid with the early race lead.
Jerett Brooks way wide, climbing, sneaking underneath Ricky Gutierrez. Remember, round 2 winner at Antigo, so he really knows how to get out front.
First time down into the Polaris gravel pit. Keegan Kincaid, the defending champion, trying to bounce back from that terrible Antigo weekend that we talked about. Came into this weekend 12th in points.
I'm just like, I can't let Keegan step off with this lead and get too far out front, because we all know what happens. So I was pretty close to him. He got me in a few corners. I noticed I was dropping back, and then all of a sudden coming around 1, like back on the barn turn, I made up ground and close enough. I think I tried something in the gravel pit. I got him next to him and we kind of drag raced over the jump. And then he was on the inside, so I kind of used the cushion, got around him on the finish line corner. It was super slick on the bottom, greasy. Him and Jerett were on the inside, and I just went around on the cushion and pulled trucks on him, and then just try to put my head down, calm myself down, tell myself don't make any mistakes. I knew what the lines I was hitting. Crandon's not one line, but there's the fast way around the track. So if you can nail it every lap, it's hard for somebody to get on you.
Watch. Winner, he's going to try to cross back over, but look at Keegan. He knew what he was going to try to do, so he tried to seal the deal. Here comes Brooks, but your new leader this afternoon in Pro 2, Corey Winner.
So of Pro 2 in Crandon, a lot of people had eyes on Keegan Kincaid and expecting a big comeback because he just could not perform in Antigo, and it was heartbreaking for him. And talking to his dad, Jeff Kincaid, it's just fluke issue after fluke issue. But going into the weekend, they said, okay, we think we have it. All the kinks worked out at this point.
Yeah, so as you know, Antigo was a little rough. Wrecked some stuff. We ended up changing the whole front A-arms. We built a bumper. Built a lot. We had to do a lot of work. You know, we sent the motor out back to Roush to get fresh. Ended up hurting something in the motor. I mean, it was a rough weekend for us, so a lot of work went into this. This thing got stripped down to nothing, got it right back ready, and here we are at Crandon ready to go, ready for redemption. And, you know, we actually were leading, you know, the first race out. We felt good. We qualified, I think, second or something like that. And then leading the first race, you know, typical Crandon style, and had some electrical issues that took us out that day. And
Going to Pro 2, and he's going to duck into the hot pit, so you called it, Brent. Great eye there. That's going to leave our race for the lead down to 2 trucks. It's Winner and Brooks as they come.
Tough break for your hometown boy, Keegan Kincaid. He's going to go into the pit lane. They're going to try to check things out. I think maybe an engine failure or something on that note. Engine definitely laying down, or maybe over.
it is one of the biggest tracks on the circuit, but it's probably one of the hardest tracks to pass on because everyone's pretty much running the same line. It's all about momentum there, keeping the momentum up, keeping the speed up. So to try to make a pass
you got to be pretty aggressive.
Comes Brooks once again. This is going to get interesting.
Brooks putting the pressure on Winter as they go into the gravel pit. Brooks is going to dive to the inside and try to get that drive on the bottom.
Yeah, he does, but no, not on the exit. Winter holds on to that spot. So they shred apart. They're just for looks, if you ask me. Once they go apart, there's nothing left as Winter now opening up that gap a little more.
Yeah, Brooks still charging very hard, trying to make that ground back up, though.
The field is stacked. There's so much talent in it. Everyone's throwing so much money at it, setup at it. The drivers are all really good. A bunch of talent in it that, you know, that's what it's going to come down to. We got 14 laps to get it done. I mean, when you have an 8 inversion, you got to pass 8 of the fastest dudes in front of you in 14 laps. I mean, if you want to win, you got to go for it.
To wait and see, but right now, Corey Winter, Jerett Brooks, Ryan Beat in the mix now, Kyle Kleiman, Ricky G, your top 5 racers here in this one. Wait for it. In between those cones, he can take off at any time, and he goes right away.
It was carnage, man. That's all it was. People spinning out in front of me. Seemed like the same dude. You know, but after that, it was just like, making clean passes, and then more contact with flat tires, and it's like, couldn't win, man. Couldn't come away with anything on that time. So.
Is there like a quick restart there by the 67 of Corey Winter? Right away, Ryan Beat looked to the inside of Jerett Brooks through turn 2.
Really just put my head down and started digging, started passing people, and next thing I know, it's like halfway, and I got, 2 guys in front of me. I'm like, oh, I'm sitting third. Okay, now game on. Let's do this,
Wide again. Here comes Beat. Brooks comes right back.
Yeah, that was a big mistake by Brooks. He actually hopped over the cushion to the outside of the gravel pit, but a great forward drive out of the gravel pit. And then again went too wide, so Brooks maybe having some kind of control issues here. Will be 2 laps to go this time for our race leader, Corey Winter.
I think that hood was instant karma, but I think the hood for sure slowed me down to at least let Ryan get to me, and I couldn't see anything. I mean, my spotter, Tanner, I was like, hey dude, you got a spot for me, because this hood, I can't see anything. So I think that hood for sure played a factor, especially when you came to the competition caution. I had a hood up in my face, but
I got around Keegan. I'm like, okay, like we're cooking this race. Like, we got our stuff together, and like after 2 laps or so, telling me they're not pulling on me, they're not like dropping back, but they're not gaining. I'm like, okay, so I'm just like, don't worry about them. They're 8-10 trucks back. Just run the same lines, because that's what was working.
Look at this, the 67 of Corey Winter will take his first career Pro 2 victory here at Crandon. Checked out on the field, there's Ryan Beat. Jerett Brooks will finish 3rd.
Nicky Thomas 4th, Ronnie Anderson across the line.
Appreciate it.
Fought back hard. Corey was on the gas. Honestly, that was cool. He's very deserving of that win. He hasn't had a win yet, and that was the way to get a win. He just waxed us. So congrats to him. General Tire teammate as well. So we've got some work to do.
To emerge victorious for the first time in his career, for a lot of people it was like, okay, this is Corey Winter's first win, really? Because he almost took home the championship in 2021. No, he's been so close so many times, and Crandon's been especially good to him. I've interviewed him many times at Crandon, but to see him get his first win there, he told us going into the season that this is going to be the year. And not just with that race in particular, but really all season long, we've seen a different Corey Winter emerge, and that's been exciting to watch. So Corey Winter with the first win of his career, and was able to do so at Crandon.
That's the type of racing that I look forward to, is good, clean battles where you're just on another level. It's one of those days where everything's clicking and you're having fun, and you just feel at one with the truck, and you can do cool things in the truck and have really good racing happen,
But the first driver to repeat in 2022 in the Pro 2 class. So that, we don't often see, if we do have multiple multi-time winners in a season, this is going to be the class where it's going to be few and far between, which is how evenly matched and just wildly unpredictable this class is.
I just think that the field is just stepping their game up every track we go to, and that's why this Pro 2 class is the best to be in and the most competitive.
Like, my mentality is definitely playing it safe, trying to be smooth, consistent, just consistent finishes. You know, I'm going to go out there and I want to win. I'm going for a win every time I go out there. But if I have to back off and just settle in and take a top 5, I'm fine with that too, you know? It's just...
We're all paid to win, and that's where we ultimately want to be. We're competitors. That's why we're here. We're competitors for a living, and when we put the helmets on, it's all out the door.
Back to Crandon International Off-road Raceway. I'm Brent Smith alongside Shane Stetsny. Pro 2-wheel drives are on the starting line, Shane. Yeah, look at some of the heavy hitters in the field here. Mickey Thomas, he's number 44. He'll be on the pole.
I've had flag-to-flag win in Crandon before in the past, but like Crandon's a track you want to show up and win at. You know, it's all the fans are there. It's the big show, so.
Now watch his face, slides it over to yellow. At any given time, you're gonna hear 750 plus horsepower. Coming into turn number 1, they're off. I'm seeing the Crandon crowd on their feet as they come into turn 1. Corey Winter with another great start, but here comes Mickey Thomas to the inside. It'll be Thomas into turn 1 first. Wow, Keegan Kincaid going really, really wide in turn number 1. Not having the day he wanted in round 3, but look at Mickey Thomas. Thomas looking very strong out front. He was the winner back in round number 1 to kick off the 2022 season. It's Thomas, Kincaid, Ricky G, Winner, and Jerett Brooks, your top 5. Now Climate got by him as well, so look at the roost of mud coming through these tires. There's Jerett Brooks, Corey Winter, and Brooks goes way wide. So Brooks goes wide, he gets that spot.
Like I said before, we're chasing setup every time. Just because we went there before with the same setup doesn't mean it's going to work next time we go. For some weird reason, I just think that the field is just stepping their game up every track we go to.
As they go through turn 2 and down past the skyboxes. Yeah, absolutely. Here comes Brooks, bonsaiing off of that flyaway jump. Heading into the gravel pit. There's Mickey Thomas. But you can see he's starting to go to work, starting to apply that pressure, hoping for a mistake out of Thomas. Trying to hunt down the Mystic Lubricants truck. The driver from Dawsonville, Georgia, Mickey Thomas. Like we said, there hasn't been a repeat winner through the first 3 rounds, but Thomas is trying to pay that off. To that mandatory competition caution, he knows he has the speed, and especially when this track starts to dry out, Shane, it's going to get really, really quick. Yeah, Brooks at this point, he's not close enough to make a move before they get to the flags, so I think he's just going to sit back, maybe start to take a few deep breaths already, save the truck.
Wildly unpredictable this class is, but Mickey Thomas, similar to Corey Winter, like we talk about, this new personality, this new, I don't want to say driving style emerged from him, but they definitely have things super tuned this year, and he's been putting up the results and the numbers.
In control in these things, you know, we're always sliding and trying to predict what the chassis is going to do. Like, it's not like road racing or something where everything's real calculated, so.
Here we go. Mickey Thomas didn't waste any time. We'll see if Brooks will make a quick move on Thomas if he can get to him.
Mickey and I, like, we look so clean because when we get to each other, we're always running fast speeds. You know, I know he's pushing, I'm pushing, so when we get next to each other, we're pushing hard where
pressure on Thomas can pretty much run his own line. I'm sure former Pro 2 champ Mike Vandenheuvel on Mickey Thomas's headset is telling him, hey, you're clear by 10 truck lengths, 15 truck lengths. Just run your pace. Under about 4 car lengths as they come into Calamity Corner. Brooks is on the charge. Brooks dives deep. He over-rotates. Oh, almost stops the truck and gets to the finish line second. But Mickey Thomas, Shane, taking that big win. Thomas, flag to flag, pulled the whole shot.
We had Mickey Thomas, the first driver to repeat win of the season, and did so in flag-to-flag fashion. He had found something that the rest of the field just simply did not have.
All the guys helping me. They helped me out. They set it up perfect. A monkey could drive that thing.
I don't know if I believe in karma or not, because I feel like I'm a pretty decent guy. Like, I don't do anything bad. I don't feel like I deserve the karma sometimes, but stuff happens. It's part of racing. It's not easy. That's why we all keep coming back for more, and we've all been there and won races, and I think we hold on to that, and that's what keeps me pushing forward, is just the drive to get that feeling again and be on top of it. And yeah, it's tough. It builds up on you and it makes you pissed off, and And that's the reason we built a brand new truck, is to get over those problems, and you're still dealing with them, and is what it is.
Come on, it's steps right next to me. Like, you can make it up there. So, I think just getting that taste and then trying to stay at it. So.